Hey y'all, so today we're going to read Matthew chapter 22. Depending on how long this video is, I might cut it in half and then do the other half either later today or tomorrow. Because my videos have been shutting off around 10 minutes and I think it's always better to watch shorter videos anyways. Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 22, verse 1. It's called the Parable of the Wedding Banquet. Jesus spoke to them again in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. He sent his servants to those who had been invited to the banquet to tell them to come, but they refused to come. Then he sent some servants and said, 'Tell those who have been invited that I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and fattened cattle have been butchered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding banquet.' But they paid no attention and went off, one to his field, another to his business. The rest seized his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged. He sent his army and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Then he said to his servants, 'The wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come. So go to the street corners and invite to the banquet anyone you find.' So the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people they could find, the bad as well as the good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. Then the king came in to see the guests. He noticed a man there who was not wearing wedding clothes. He asked, 'How did you get in here without wedding clothes, friend?' The man was speechless. The king told the attendants, 'Tie him hand and foot and throw him outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are invited, but few are chosen.'" So that's kind of confusing because I don't know exactly why things are happening. So I think I understand the first part where he invited people to this wedding banquet and they did not come. And they were refusing to come. Then he sent some more servants, telling those who had been invited that dinner's ready, that I have this prepared, and everything's ready. Come to the banquet. But they paid no attention, went off, one to his field, another to his business. The rest seized his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. So, some people who God is, sharing the good news with, come to my kingdom, come to my banquet, come, they don't listen, they refuse to come, and those who are invited, they do not come. So then, that's the people who were originally supposed to be there. That could be the Jewish community. I could be completely wrong, but it seems this banquet, there's a certain group of people that is invited, right? But then when they're refusing to come, just like when Jesus came and the Jewish community did not believe that he was God, then Jesus went and to everyone else shared the good news, right? The one thing that trips me up, though, is the one who was there at the wedding banquet not in wedding clothing. Because my initial thought is well, maybe he couldn't afford wedding clothing, right? But I don't think that's the case, because just because you can't afford something does not mean that you're not welcome in the kingdom, right? It's not about money. So that cannot be what it's talking about. Maybe it's if you're not prepared. I have no idea. I'll have to look into that more. Okay, let's read the next section. This is paying the imperial tax to Caesar, verse 15. Then the Pharisees went out and laid plans to trap him in his words. They sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians. Teacher, they said, we know that you are a man of integrity and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. You aren't swayed by others because you pay no attention to who they are. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it right to pay the imperial tax to Caesar or not? But Jesus, knowing their evil intent, said, You hypocrites! Why are you trying to trap me? Show me the coin used for paying the tax. They brought him a denarius. And he asked them, Whose image is this? And whose inscription? Caesar's, they replied. Then he said to them, Give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. When they heard this, they were amazed, so they left him and went away. Oof. That's good, because this goes into what I was saying before, like, God is not about money and gaining as much money as you can. Give back to those that this belongs and give back to God what belongs to God. Literally everything belongs to God. Give back, meaning just be my vessel and continuously give. Hold on, Mom, I'm doing a Bible thing. Marriage, and this is the next passage. It's called Marriage at the Resurrection, verse 23. That same day, the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to him with a question. Teacher, they said, Moses told us that if a man dies without having children, his brother must marry the widow and raise up offspring for him. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first one married and died, and since he had no children, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second and third brother, right on down to the 7th. Finally, the woman died. Now then, at the resurrection, whose wife will she be of the 7, since all of them were married to her? Jesus replied, You are in error because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God. At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. But about the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what God said to you? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. When the crowds heard this, they were astonished at his teaching. That's so crazy. So when you die, I believe this is what it's saying. When you die, you're not going to be connected to the person in marriage that you were connected to on earth. It says, verse 29, You are in error because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God. At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. So, the first one married and died. And since he had no children, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second and the third brother, right on down to the 7th. Finally, the woman died. So this woman was married to all 7 of the brothers. Finally, the woman died. Now then, at the resurrection, whose wife will she be on the 7th? Oh, whose wife will she be of the 7? Since all of them were married to her. That's crazy. So I'm going to leave it there. We have only two more things to get through, but I don't want to rush it because it has been 10 minutes. All right, y'all. I will hopefully see you tomorrow and finish up 22. I think this will be better for me and help me to be more consistent also. All right. Peace.